let's do that. There we are. Hi, kids. Let me just finish my sentence. And he actually accidentally killed his wife on stage. He got so far into the character. Oh my, hi,
That's
kids.
horrible.
And yes, we are here, and I am here, and we are all together. And what the heck am I talking about? I haven't the slightest idea. But I am indeed Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady, and with me is my co-pilot and compadre and right hand and all that other wonderful stuff. The one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. Hello, dear. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right, I suppose. I probably should have had food before this started, but other than that, I'm doing well.
Oh
How about
my.
you?
Oh, we're getting there. And I probably should have poured a cup of coffee before I started this, but that's another story entirely. Oh, Lord. Oh, my, oh, my. Hi, Colleen. And we have Greg.
Oh, I should
And
probably have the chat up, huh?
yeah, I see Greg and I see Amiga and I see Colleen and I feel like Miss Barbara in Romper Room. And you know, what can I tell you? Oh my, great to have everybody here. Um,
Romper Room is a title I've not heard in a very long time.
it's amazing how long that actually lasted. Really, it is. Is it still around? Do you know, or does anybody know if Romper Room is still a thing?
I'm gonna say probably not. In fact, and I'm willing to bet that if it didn't die in the 70s, it was the early 80s.
Okay.
Either that or when I was watching it, it was all reruns.
Yeah, because I remember it from 1962.
To 1988. Holy crap.
Oh my word. Okay, by the time you got to 1988, does it say anything about whether it was still local? Because in 1962, the broadcast was local. I lived in Cleveland. It was broadcast from WEWS in Cleveland. And I guess every city that carried it had its own local romper room. But
Oh, you mean its own actual version?
yeah.
Because I thought when you said that, when you said local, I kind of thought you meant like not network.
Oh, no, no. Yeah, it was on the network affiliates, if I remember correctly. They reserved a time slot for it. But each television studio, this is when you actually had the studios in
Hmm.
the building and you did, the program with the cameras there and the lights and the
Well, it sounds
action and
like
all
a
that.
UHF sort of thing.
Kind of, yeah. Um,
No, I
pre-
mean literally on a UHF station.
yeah, the difference, really the only difference was that it was on the channels 2 through 13 because
Well, what
UHF
I'm
wasn't a thing
see-
yet, not where I lived.
well, what I'm seeing here is it says it was franchised in Australia, Canada, Japan, Puerto Rico, and New Zealand, and the UK. Oh, and Australia. I said Australia already.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
But I'm not seeing anything more detailed. Let me look it up on Wikipedia instead. Romper Room. It says franchised and syndicated is what I was looking for.
Okay,
So,
then.
oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Starring national Nancy Terrell, locally various presenters. So, oh, and it says right here localized versions in the US. And it's got 40 different entries for that.
Okay.
Atlanta, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Biloxi, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, Denver, Detroit, Duluth, Grand Rapids, Honolulu, Jonestown, Kansas City, Lafayette, Lansing, Lexington, Los Angeles, Little Rock, Madison, Memphis, Miami, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Paul, New Bedford, New Orleans, New York City, Oakland, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Puerto Rico, Quad Cities, Iowa and Illinois, Rochester, Salt Lake City, Utah, Savannah, Georgia, Seattle, Tacoma, St. Louis, Washington, D.C., Wichita, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, anyway.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
get into
So,
the Yako thing there. There you go.
yeah. It doesn't really say much else about that. I'm getting the impression that what they did was they would have like here's the syndicated version and then a blank spot for the localized version. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
I
cannot
don't.
remember exactly how it was presented. I do remember, though,
Oh
that,
wow.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm looking and it says that the hostess would serve milk and cookies to the children, and before eating, they'd literally recite a prayer to
yes,
God.
they would. Yes. Yeah. Well, remember, this was a while ago. And yeah, the one in Cleveland anyway. I'm sure many of the others did this as well. Yeah, the kids came from the neighborhood. The FSB used to bitch that she would think of taking me onto the stage, but because I was such a piece of shit, she wouldn't.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm seeing here it says that each program opens with a greeting from the hostess and the Pledge of Allegiance in American broadcasts.
okay, yeah, okay, that would make a great
I
deal of
pledge
sense.
allegiance to Queen Frag and her mighty state of hysteria.
Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
times are a little bit different.
I'm looking here. It says there's also a version called Romper Room and Friends, but there's no like straight up explanation of what the difference was between the syndicated and local versions. Like it's not really spelling it out.
Okay, okay. Um, well, I suppose it would be ROMPER. No, I'll be way over there. Uh,
Mm-hmm. No, I mean seriously, they're not. It's not really saying. And then in the syndicate or in the local versions, they would do this instead. Oh wow, kids would be on waiting lists for years, sometimes before birth, to be on the show.
okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Wow.
Oh my. Okay. Some of this I did not remember. The Cleveland thing here. Cleveland hostess
Oh,
Miss Barbara, full name. What?
well, I'm seeing the explanation now.
Oh, what? Which is?
It says here for some, local shows all over the world use the same script, but with local children.
Ah. Ah.
That explains what they did. Okay.
Okay. Cause yeah. Yeah. Miss Barbara was Barbara R. Plummer, née Bowen, born in Norwalk, Ohio, in 1930. She was also a weather presenter on Channel 5, which is where Romper Room was run, and appeared on Captain Penny. Captain Penny was Ron Penpound, who was, I think, a sports presenter.
Hmm.
Um, Died at the age of 80 in 2010. I didn't know she lasted that long.
I don't even really remember what any of these people look like. I vaguely remember what the set looked like. It was very sort of 60s, 70s with all those weird. What were those things? They sort of looked like splats and flowers mated. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do. Yeah,
And I
okay.
seem to remember that was all over the set. And I sort of vaguely remember the costume that she wore, and I could not for the life of me describe it. But like there was some sort of beanie beret thing she was wearing. And it
Okay,
was all
then.
like yellows and browns and reds. Not exactly earth tones, but kinda. You know what I'm talking
Gotcha.
about?
I think so, yes. Now, did she have the magic mirror?
I know that was a thing, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because I forget if it was at the end or somewhere within. That's where that whole thing was. I see Kate and I see. I
France.
see,
I see
and
Kate's
there
underpants.
you
Yeah,
go.
anyway.
I see Amiga and I see Colleen, and yeah, that whole thing with the magic mirror going on.
Well, I
Uh,
see. I'm looking at pictures right now, and I'm seeing like some lady holding up what looks like an unstrung tennis racket.
Okay, that's the magic mirror. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that is one of the most terrifying Jack in the Boxes I've ever seen.
I'd forgotten all about that. I had
Oh
forgotten
my
all
gosh, that
about
is
that.
terrifying. I'm gonna have to. Okay, if you're scared of clowns, do not look at this thing, people. But here we go. Oh my gosh, that thing wants to
Yep.
like kidnap me off the street, tie me up in its basement, and then eat me slowly while I'm still alive.
That was an actual toy that you could find in the stores that sold toys for the kids. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely terrifying. Oh my gosh. And you know
Oh
what? I might not be
shit.
thinking of Romper Room actually when I talk about the set and what she was wearing. That might be like the electric company.
Oh, okay.
You know the electric company,
I know
right?
of it. I hadn't watched very
Okay.
much of it, but I did see an episode or two. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might be thinking of that instead. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Electric Company. Do I have it right in describing it as Sesame Street for the older kids?
I don't know about that. I remember it being Sesame Street, like discount Sesame Street. I remember it being a Sesame Street wannabe, but I don't remember it like having an age range. I mean,
Okay.
keep in mind, I have not watched this show since the 1970s.
Right, right. Yeah, because what I was thinking was the programming they included was, I'm trying to remember if it was slightly advanced from this show is presented by the letters Q, V, and T, and then number six. Um, I don't know. I can't remember because it's been so long since I've seen an episode of it.
Okay, I found an image that like they're not wearing those funky hats that I remember, but these are really close to the outfits I remember, especially the ones sitting down.
Oh my, okay then.
Yeah. And you know, the dude in the hat looks really familiar. Who is that?
Looks to my eyes a little bit like Bill Cosby.
Hmm. My first thought would have been Gregory Hines, but maybe I'm
Oh,
wrong.
okay, maybe.
Let me see. Well, we can easily find out. The Electric Company on IMDb. Here we go. Oh, wow. It looks like they've rebooted it. Let's see. Holy shit, Morgan Freeman.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Wowzers. It says here he played Dracula. Wow. 780 episodes. Crazy. I had no idea. That doesn't look like him though. Of course he would have been a lot younger than I remember him, but
Gosh.
it still doesn't look like him. Uh Jim Boyd, whoever that is. No, that's not him. Let's see. Well, Rita Moreno, Mel Brooks.
Holy hell,
Wowzers. Like everyone and their hamster was on this thing.
man. Jeez.
Zero Mostel. I know that name, no idea who the frick it is.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
Tedger
hey,
the
you know what?
Milkman.
It might have been Bill Cosby. It says here he was on it, 260 episodes.
Okay then.
Now, okay, refresh my memory because for some reason I think it was a solo show he did, but it might have been the Electric Company. It might even not have been him. But I remember there was something where there was a pen that had what looked like a bee on top of it, like a stylized cartoonish bee. And whenever whoever it was would draw, it would make noise. It would make these little notes like da 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 like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, I'm not so sure. I really am not all that well acquainted.
Denise Nickerson, really? If you don't know who that is, I'm pretty sure she played Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka. Yes, she was Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in 1971.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, but it looks like she did 130 episodes of The Electric Company. Lorne Green did 3
Holy
episodes.
hell!
Carol Burnett, Mel Blanc. Wow. Mel Blanc literally played Wile E. Coyote in 3 episodes. Lily Tomlin, just wow. Okay. Michael Landon. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Wow. Rowan and Martin were both on it.
Oh, jeez.
Victor Borga, whose name I only vaguely know, Barbara Eden, Joe Namath, Carol O'Connor, Dean Martin. Wow. Crazy.
Oh, my word.
Anyway, yeah. So, oh, and Carol Spinney, who you probably don't know, or maybe you do. Big Bird. Dude who played Big Bird, Carol Spinney.
Okay, then.
Wow, and he was also Oscar the Grouch.
Okay, now that I'm running the voices through my head, yeah, they do have a certain similarity.
Wow. Wait, that can't be who I think it is. Todd Graff? No. Okay, definitely not the guy I was thinking of. Who am I thinking of? The dude from Police Academy, who played shit. What's his name? Tackleberry. That's who on Police Academy. That is David Graff, and Graff only has one F in his name. Okay. Okay. Wow. Some of these people, I know the name, but I couldn't tell you. Oh, that's who Zero Mostel is. Okay.
Tevye.
Okay. No, 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 no. I remember him better from that Mel Brooks movie. What is it, The Producers?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He was in Watership Down. Oh, that movie is creepy as hell. Um, yep, The Producers. Yep. That's who I remember him as.
Moo.
Except I'm not sure I've ever seen The Producers. Or if I have, it was the remake. Hmm.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure there was a remake. The Producers. I want to say it was Steve Martin. No, it was Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane. And what the hell am I thinking of with Steve Martin? Well, whatever. It's not important.
Moo. Moo.
Point being that there was a remake, and I'm not wrong about that part.
Okay, then.
Oh, speaking of not so much remakes, but sequels that came way too late. I just saw the trailer for the third Bill and Ted movie, and honestly, I'm a little worried.
Uh-oh.
It looks bad.
Okay. So.
Well, the thing is, okay, number one, what the hell is up with Keanu's voice? He sounds kind of like the day after going to a concert where you screamed your lungs out to cheer the band on, and then you come back home and you're like, ugh! He sounds like he's croaking more than speaking. But on top of that, they brought back Death. Death was one of the worst characters in Bogus Journey. Oh, I can't believe that. I wonder if he's still played by why can't I remember his name now? I'll look. Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Here we go. Let's see if it's the same Death. Yes, it is William Sadler. Oh. Yeah. I'm worried that this movie's gonna stink and stink hard.
Okay, now you're out
And
of
of course
my
they are kind of old. I mean, Alex Winter's how old now?
800 million years.
Well, it looks like he's almost, but not quite 55 years old, if I'm doing my math right.
Okay, then.
Whoa, he's British? Since when is he British? I didn't know that. It says he was born in London. Huh.
Well, there is a London, Ontario.
No, that's England. It's very
Okay,
specific
it is
about
that
England.
London. Okay.
Well, it says here he attended film school at New York University. Doesn't really say, like, did he then move from England to the US? Like his parents dragged him as a child? Because that happened. I mean, hell, Keanu was born in Beirut for crying out loud.
Well, I don't know.
So,
It might fit with the theme of the show if they moved him. No, I'll be way over there.
hmm. Or
Oh,
wait, I think, well, it says Beirut, Lebanon. So yeah, he was born in Beirut. Oh gosh, they're coming out with Matrix 4. Oy.
okay.
Well, I mean, you know, I never got past the second Matrix movie. It just got bad. And I rewatched the first one recently and I was like, this is even worse than I remember. Like the only good things about the Matrix was like how interesting bullet time was at the time. Now it's gotten old, but you know,
Okay.
like the way it was built was impressive, but watching the story, meh.
I have to wonder. I mean, okay, if you're going to have something and you're going to make a cereal out of it, why don't you set it up as a cereal in the first place? Like Buck Rogers, every Saturday afternoon you paid your nickel to get into the theater and see the Buck Rogers reel. Couldn't
Well,
you
you
do
know,
that?
the thing is they're doing it now, except they're doing it in the worst way possible. Like, okay, there was this thing I was watching about how like every movie these days is trying to set itself up as a franchise from the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, we put out a superhero movie and we left it open enough that you could turn it into a franchise. Uh, we're like they're expecting a sequel rather than let's make a good movie. Like they start with the marketing. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that is the
And
poo poo.
and it doesn't like a lot of people are saying that is making movies crappier now because they're expecting so much of it.
Yeah, there's
They're
a
expecting it to carry so much burden.
there's a certain knack to writing a serial. There's a certain knack to doing it well, to where you can get several years out of it. Every weekend. Um,
Well, the problem is though that they don't do movies like that anymore. It has to be television if you're going to do it like that.
mm-hmm.
And well, it's like I think if you're going to do it in movie format, you should start by telling one good movie. And if you have more in mind, have more in mind, but tell a damn good story first. I mean, if you look at Star Wars, I'm not sure George Lucas ever expected a sequel. Not really. I mean, sure, Vader got away, but the Death Star was blown up. So he left it a little open, but at the same time, he just told a really good story. If Star Wars had ended with episode 4, with A New Hope, uh, it would have been fine, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was that popular. It was a freaking blockbuster, and it gave them the opportunity to make a sequel, even if there wasn't one planned.
Well, I don't know. And of course I'm all full of shit usually, but I was under the impression that the first three were written as a unit. No?
No.
Okay. Okay. And when I say the first three, I mean 4, 5, and 6.
I know what you meant.
Yeah. Yeah, for those in
But
the audience who might not.
But no, I'm pretty sure he just set out to tell one really good story and it got huge.
Okay then.
I mean, it's the only legit explanation for it, really. Because, I mean, it is a very self contained plot arc. It really is.
Hmm.
I mean, we blew up the Death Star and now we won. Okay, granted, yes, Vader got away. The Emperor was still around. But their ultimate weapon to destroy the Rebel Alliance was Kaputski. So, you could extrapolate for yourself what would come next.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, hmm. Because, well, the only problem, of course, is that there's a lot of movies out there that got sequels with a third the budget. Like I guess the studio had no confidence in what was coming next. And so they just said, here, have some money and go play, you know? And that's why a lot of sequels really sucked back in the day. I mean, they were just that bad.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just doesn't sound right with that thing that, as you put it, here, a couple bucks, go play in traffic. Um, if you're going to do something, why don't you do it with some confidence in it, or just don't do it? You know.
Well, I think that was the mindset in Hollywood at the time, though, was that sequels don't make money,
Okay.
or certainly not as much money as the original. And I think that's why they did it like that, was just, well, we don't expect this to make much, so we're going to waste less money on it. And if it makes more money, yay. Honestly, I think Star Wars was what broke that mindset because of how amazing The Empire Strikes Back turned out.
Yeah,
You know,
I.
and like if you watch other movies that got sequels around the same era, like you could look at Back to the Future too, and maybe you didn't like it as much, but it didn't seem like the studio had no confidence in the ability for it to succeed. And there's a lot of other movies like that from the 80s where they made a sequel and it was pretty decent, but they were pretty few and far between until much, much later. But I think that the trend started with The Empire Strikes Back of sequels being okay.
Okay. Yeah, because what I'm trying to remember is, yeah, you're thinking that the Star Wars broke the mold. I'm trying to wonder if the Star Trek and its 9 sequels was part of that trend as well, or
I'll tell you why it's not.
okay.
The first Star Trek movie was ass. And everyone, like, ask any Trekkie, they'll probably tell you that every odd numbered Star Trek movie is crap.
Well, okay, they do have a point because I mean, Star Trek: The Motion Picture was just you know pan shots of the Enterprise. That's really all it
Well, okay,
was.
there's a reason for that, actually. And that's because the studio said, you're releasing this shit now. And so what they did was they edited in a bunch of unfinished special effects shots with no editing at all. So they just showed everything where a proper edit job would have cut down a lot of those special effects shots to like half or a third the length.
Okay,
That's why it was paced so badly.
okay,
But I
okay.
mean, let's face it, Search for Spock does not have that excuse.
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, I mean, yeah, it that there's a reason why the first one sucked so hard, and it's not just the presence of Shatner.
Oh, boy, boy, I love that. I really do. I,
Well,
I just sit here and I'm thinking of how the fur would fly where you and Shatner end up in the same room.
that'd be interesting. But I mean, still, a lot of movies that came out in the wake of Star Wars, a lot of sci-fi flicks or alleged sci-fi flicks, learned a lot of the wrong lessons. Like have you ever seen The Black Hole?
No, I haven't. I know of its existence, but I have not seen it.
Okay, first of all, startlingly boring movie, but also a weirdly schizophrenic movie that didn't know what it was. Like it didn't have its own identity because
Okay.
they were trying to tell this serious story where like the black hole had made some dude go crazy and it was all this heaven and hell metaphor stuff. But then it also had some extraordinarily goofy robots. Not to mention Ernest Borgnine was in it. But I mean, it just the movie didn't know what it was trying to be, and that was part of its problem. And it also didn't help that it was extraordinarily dull and boring. Like it felt like it said, okay, everyone, you remember Star Wars? We loved Star Wars too, but here's 2001 A Space Odyssey with some cartoon characters mixed in. This is 2001 with comic relief.
Okay.
It was such a bad movie. You have no idea. Um, Yeah. And also it was terrifying if your age was still under 10.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, because there were these people that had been effectively lobotomized and were like working the controls at the ship, like with no idea what the hell they were doing. And if I remember right, their eyes had been replaced by like circuit boards or something. It was really fucked up.
Hmm.
And watching that, plus the evil robot at the end is literally down in hell, and it's just like you don't show this to an 8-year old. It's no. I don't
Oh
know.
my. Okay.
So a lot of movies that came out in the wake of Star Wars were just so bad. The movies said, make a sci-fi flick, see if you can compete with Star Wars, and oh, by the way, here's a tenth its budget. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking back, and when you talking about the 8-year-olds watching it and everything, I was so lucky that the stuff I got to watch when I was 8 years old was science fact of
Why is
these
that luck?
these guys going into orbit, one and two at a time, and used to hang on every minute of every mission, man.
But that's not interesting. Not really. I like the sci-fi rather than the sci reality because let's face it, real science is kind of messy and it's not nearly as cool as what you see in the movies. I mean, it's like
Right.
you watch a medical drama or something and it's cool. You watch an actual operation and it's gross.
Oh God, I loved that series. There was a. Do you know about the series called The Operation?
No.
One of the Discovery Network channels carried it. It was either Discovery Channel or Learning Channel, I forget. But you actually watched a full blown surgical procedure for the duration of the
Ugh.
show, and they had all sorts of procedures. I've got a
Okay,
few of them.
biology is so gross though.
Oh,
Ew. It is. There's all these like weird twists and folds and stuff in nature, and it doesn't. It just it wigs me out. It really does.
well, okay. Well, I'm going to have a slightly different view. I took my degree in a branch of biology, and I dearly loved it. But
Sorry, rewind. What biology? Say the name again.
okay, I took my degree in a branch of biology.
Branch of. That was the part I didn't hear. I
Yeah.
heard something. It sounded like some weird technique. A branchial
Oh,
biology.
okay. No.
I So okay.
Yeah, my degree was in neuroscience.
Yeah, okay. Well, still, I look at images of the brain and I'm like, this is gross. This is really, really gross. I
Okay.
remember trying to dissect a frog, and it wasn't just the smell of formaldehyde that wigged me out.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like the look of innards. I don't really like the look of anything that's fractal but not computer generated.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you do have to have the quite literally the stomach for it, really. Um, there was a prep that we worked on. It was cute and fuzzy, and it's a common house pet, but we were studying the sense of balance, so that was the perfect prep. but you had to separate yourself from the way you treated that as a pet and the way you treated that as a piece of equipment. Yeah, you did have to put
I
some work
missed
into it.
something. What was a pet?
Uh, I was working in a lab. We worked on kitties.
Thank you. It
Yeah,
was the animal I needed. I did not hear you. And also, shame on you.
yeah. We were studying the sense of balance, and the kitty happened to be the perfect prep for that. And what was really weird, I was able to make the distinction that thing on the table was not the same thing as the two of them that I came home to when the day was over.
Okay,
Um,
well, honestly, if I'd been in that lab, I would have turned animal rights advocate right the fuck away. You don't do that to a cat.
mm, yeah, I know.
Okay?
As I
Like,
say, you've got to have
I would
that.
rather see it done to a rat or one of those monkeys or whatever. You don't do it to a kitty.
Yeah, well, the one of my profs got a lot of hell for working on primates. Um, yeah, she was working on chimps and nutrition, and a lot of people did not like her because,
Okay, well, why not work on a secondary ape then?
well, sometimes
Or
it's just the way
secondary
it works.
age rather
Yeah,
than a primate.
there
This
you go.
isn't a prime number. What are they doing over here?
No, yeah, there you are. Yeah, she's the prof I had a major crush on years ago, but that's beside the point.
Mm.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
But no, I just I couldn't do it with like cats. No.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
the
one thing about cats that's really funny. Um, Xander, like, okay, my parents decided, hey, let's give you a gift. And they bought this like electronic cat toy that spins around and does all this funky stuff. Xander played with it for about 5 minutes and then was like, eh. But this morning he got his hands on the lid, the cap for a $3 thing of deodorant and went nuts on it. He was bouncing it everywhere and and I'm like, okay, so $30 for a toy that he doesn't care about, $3 for a lid that he loves.
okay, what I was expecting was the box that it came in, but it's close
Well, and
enough.
deodorant
Yeah,
doesn't so much come in a box, or did you mean the
the
the the
toy,
toy?
yeah.
Yeah.
C-
But no,
c-
he loves that deodorant cap.
yeah, well, this one, yeah, the milk caps. God, she loves or the rings. You know how you have the plastic milk bottles and the ring stays behind as you pull the cap off. Yeah, when the
Oh, those. Okay, no, I
yeah,
was picturing something else. Never mind.
okay, yeah, she loves those things, and she also loves the box that my grilling tools came in. The tongs and the fork, and I got a couple pictures on Twitter with her.
Wait, rewind. She plays. Yeah, she plays with a Chinese street gang. I'm lost.
No, she sleeps in the box that the tongs and the fork and stuff came in for my grilling, and yeah, I've got to pick it up off the floor because she knocked it off the table. And one of the reasons I think she took up with that box was it was in the sun, right by the living room window on the dining table, and the sun was right on it. And she get in there and like that, sleep in the box, and yeah, she loves what she loves, and what
Mm.
am I gonna do? And she loves to eat my houseplants. Yeah, she's the reason I can't have good things. Can't have nice things.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I don't keep plants in this place. I mean, like Columbia would have been okay with it, but Xander would have destroyed a plant if I couldn't keep it away from him because he gets into everything. And you know
Uh-huh.
how I'm always saying, like, if you can't be good, don't get caught? Well, that should not apply to my kitty because he does his damnedest. Like he's not ashamed of himself when I catch him doing something. You know, he runs away because he doesn't want to be caught at it, not because he knows it's wrong.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know, do cats really understand reward and punishment?
Well, I've heard so many people say it, and I've seen my own versions of it, where the kitty basically learns, okay, to not do this thing while the human is looking. So there seems to be some association with this is not something I should really be doing all the
Okay,
time. And
not really my question.
okay,
Do cats learn from like do they learn to not do something from being punished? Like do they associate the thing they did with what you do about it?
my thought is that they kind of do, but they just don't care.
Mm. Because I mean, okay, it's probably pretty wrong to hit your cat,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
So what other punishment can you like level upon them if you want them to know that you don't want them to do something and have it be effective? And I realize the answer is probably nothing, but at the same time, I need something because Xander
Yes.
keeps making a royal nuisance of himself. So, what I think I'm going to start trying is throwing him in the shower and closing the door, not turning on the water, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
just throwing him in there, giving him a timeout. You know, because I've got those sliding doors rather than like a
Done
curtain.
the current, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I can effectively lock him in. And it's a
Yeah.
bathtub. So if he decides to get literally pissy about it, it won't really affect my day very much. You know?
Yeah, I've got the same sort of thing going when I know that she's going to be annoying in certain circumstances. I'll put her in the bathroom and close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, but I don't know if she gets the point or not.
Yeah. Because I think Xander might just think I'm being mean rather
Mm-hmm.
than, this is because you misbehaved.
Yeah, yeah. Um, oh,
So
hi, JC.
I'm hoping that he will learn, like if I throw him into the shower and close it and he has to have a timeout, you know, that eventually he'll start to realize, look, if I don't want this timeout, I got to stop doing this shit.
I know that the kitties are really good at associating signals with things they like. Um,
Yes,
I've told this.
true.
I've told the story, and I'm sure I've told it with you around, of my Miranda and my Ariel, and I inadvertently did the whole Pavlovian conditioning thing when they were kittens, pouring the food
Hmm.
out, and I'm just being weird, and I'm like me, me, and they heard the food and they came running, but they associated the me, me, and whenever I would do that, they would come running, obviously thinking they were going to get fed, and I I sat my ex down when she first came out here. The first day she was out here, it was oh, she's, oh, nice kitties and everything, and yeah, they come when called, and by now they're in another room. They don't they don't do that. Cats don't come when called. Of course they do. Yeah, no, they don't. Me, boom, two cats right into her. They come when
Well,
called. Yeah, you just have to know how to call them.
I've got something similar. If I clap my hands like that, double clap, They know
Yes.
it's feeding.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and so I reserve my clapping now because I know that they will get associations. However, there's already an association. Xander, like I guess the first time he heard a bag crinkle, it was when I was about to feed him and Columbia some kibble,
Okay.
right? And so now anything like if I take one of these and do this, there's a very good chance he'll come running.
Okay, I'm looking and I'm seeing whether or not he's going to show up or is he
Well,
asleep
here's
somewhere.
Columbia anyway.
Okay, then. And you know that's
But
the other thing. I never did figure out what's the difference between a kibble and a bit.
I don't know.
I
Oh,
go,
yep, here's Xander.
and I see Columbia's kitty face. Yeah, look at that. Look at that face. Look at that tail. Yay!
Yeah, so eventually he may learn that a crinkling plastic bag does not mean food. Eventually, maybe. But yeah,
I guess
it
that
took him like a week to realize that double clap meant you're being fed. But yes, you're right. They can learn positive conditioning.
yeah.
Can they learn negative?
And what I'm thinking is they may get the point that you're trying to give them a signal that you don't appreciate what they're doing and they just don't give a shit.
Mm, well, I mean, what I'm hoping is that at some point he'll learn that the price of misbehavior is higher than he can afford.
There you are. There you are. Yeah,
That's my hope.
it may take some time. Um, I do know. I'm thinking back, and I'm thinking back. I do know that my Miranda and my Ariel finally got the point that I was not exactly pleased with them eating my spider plants, and they eventually
Mm.
left them alone. It took a long time. It took months, whereas the food conditioning took only maybe a week or two. Um,
But like I say, eventually they'll learn that a crinkling bag is a total tease.
well, I think
Eventually.
what you've got to do is you've got to do the reinforcement every now and then. You do have to crinkle the bag
Crinkle a
and
bag.
then provide them some kibble. Yeah, so they still get
No,
the.
no, 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 no. That's exactly the opposite of what I need to do. I need to crinkle a bag and give them no kibble. So eventually they realize that the signal is not what they think it is.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I got you.
Because I really don't want them thinking, oh, a bag crinkled, time for food. No, no, this is not the signal for food.
Oh my. And then we've got Jackson saying, "Yeah, the price misbehaving if you're watching, but if you're not, yeah, yeah, it's." I learned to do this, or I learned to not do this when the human's looking. Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Um,
they'll learn eventually. Just saying. I mean, Columbia knows to not do a lot of stuff, but then Columbia never did a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, okay, she's figured out that the kitchen counters are off limits, and she's okay with it, I guess, or at least she obeys. Whereas Xander, on the other hand, not so much. That one's an uphill battle.
okay, then. Yeah, this one, I think she's getting bored with trying to get into the cupboards rather than figuring out that Clarion doesn't like it. Because what I don't like about her getting into the cupboards is if I don't see her get in there, I'll close the door and then I'll do what I'm doing, and 6 hours later I'm hearing, and it's, what's that? Oh, for fuck's sake! You're in there. Okay.
You know, it's funny. Xander is absolutely fascinated by the freezer.
Okay. Okay.
He, like, every time I open the freezer, he's there looking, going, what on earth is this fascinating box?
Yeah, like I said when you posted it, yeah, it must be a cool cat.
Mm,
Uh, my
but
Winst.
no, seriously, you're just, I don't know. It's like there's so many things I have to train him out of.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, there's a little thing that my ex and I had a little joking thing about Winston, where we decided that he was of a certain Semitic um, ethnicity, if you will, because he would always go into the oven.
Oh dear. That is so awful.
Yes, I
You should be
know.
ashamed. Oh my gosh.
This
The
was
heck's wrong with you?
the weirdest thing, and I've got a picture of it, but you don't see everything around it. I was cleaning the kitchen one day, and okay, I'm going to clean the oven. I opened up the oven, and it's, oh, wait a minute, I don't have the oven cleaner. Went to get the can of oven cleaner. I turned back, and there's Winston lying on the rack, and it's like, what the hell?
So I've probably asked you this before, but
Hmm.
Winston, that would be Zedmore, yes?
That would be the ex decided he looked like a Winston.
So there was no
There was no
inspiration then.
inspiration for it. No. Yeah, it's she was casting about for ideas for names, and she didn't like any of them, and it decided, no, you know what? He looks like a Winston.
Hmm.
Um, it might have had something to do with the fact that he was gay as a picnic basket.
Was
Yes.
he?
Oh yeah, he was the gay kitty. Um,
Okay.
First thing he, brought him home. First thing he did was try to bonk his brother. It was like, okay.
Well, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, huh?
There you are. And he was such a mama's boy too, because he adopted Ariel as his mama,
Hmm.
and always cuddling and cleaning her ears and God knows what else.
I wish Xander and Columbia would have that kind of relationship.
It was the cutest thing. And then, okay, then the ex took off. She took Ariel with her because, well, she and Ariel had bonded. And it's like, okay. And then at one point, why don't you bring Winston over to say hi to Ariel again? She tried to kill him. So much for that.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder about that. I mean, was it just this is my territory, get out, or did they actually not recognize each other?
I think it was one of the former. I think it was like, okay, this is my territory. This is my home. What are you doing here? I do not want you here. Yeah, she went after him and he went hiding. Um, think he hid behind a table or a side table or some shit like that. And took a while to get him out of there and back into the carrier. And yeah, she went to another building in the same block. The landlord owned two buildings, one behind the other. And she went to the front building, and I stayed in the back building. Um, but what is for to do is on the thing for you. You know how it's for to the thing, to be seen to making. Yeah, well, Megan, that's just right. Cats seem to
Mhm.
have humans pretty well trained. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've never been one to be trained in that fashion. I mean,
But
seriously, like every cat I've ever had, they have been forced to dance to my tune and not the other way around. I mean, okay, to be fair, they have their own way of being, but if there was ever a dispute, it went my way or no way.
okay. Oh, I don't know this film. Film
Which
Apt
film?
Pupil. The drunk old Nazi guy tried to shove the orange kitty into his oven. Fortunately, it got away.
I think I could probably identify the cover of that movie, but I've never seen it.
Alrighty then.
Ooh, and it's back. I've got the earworm going again.
Okay, same one or
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Da
If
Brashnia.
anyone's seen Red Dwarf, I have the song from the Rimmer Experience in my head. Yep. It's Arnold, Arnold, Arnold Rimmer. Anyway, yeah.
Now,
It's
when you first
pernicious, that song.
when you first mentioned it, the thing that went through my mind was bang, 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 bang. Arnold Rimmer, Arnold
What
Rimmer.
is that?
That's Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix
Uh,
Experience.
okay, I did not know there was a song called Arnold Rimmer by Jimi Hendrix.
No, there wasn't. No, the song was Purple Haze, but
Hmm.
it's by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, as you're speaking of the Arnold Rimmer Experience. Yeah.
Yeah, then nope. Nope, nope, nope.
No, 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 no,
And
no.
believe me, if you'd ever heard this song, you'd know why it's nothing even remotely like it. I think I might have posted it to Twitter. I know I posted it on Facebook. I don't know.
Oh, yoy. Or as they say in the old country, they say, yeah, Maria. Hi, Geo-Sam.
Okay.
Hello, 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 hello. Oh, my word.
Geo-Sam?
Yeah, he's associated with some of the peopleses from
Oh, there. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat there because, well, the name's grayed out.
yeah, we've done the what's the word for it? The quiplash thing at least once.
Hmm.
Okay, and I know I can get a, I know I can do that. Yeah, that's a safe person. Oh, great to have you here. Yay. Oh, Mike, we've got 5 people watching. Not a bad take, you know. Better than
One thing
nobody.
that's one thing that's kind of funny that like I wanted to post the video of the Rimmer Experience song on Facebook, and the best one I could find had the worst subtitles. They got the lyrics so wrong. Right? Like there's this one part where it goes, Master of the wit and the repartee, his command of space directives is uncanny. But the thing is, they didn't put wit and repartee, they put wit and red party.
Oh, Lord.
Like it was communism or some shit. And I'm sitting here
Okay.
going, that is so not what the lyrics are, you idiot. And it wasn't the only time they did it either. Like there were so many bits of lyrics that were so wrong, and it didn't look like a speech to text thing that had gone wrong. It looked like they thought those were genuinely what the lyrics were.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah, I do know that when I would be at the gym, where they have the cardio machines, there would be a line of televisions hanging from the ceiling above them, and you'd have the various whatevers, and some of them were subtitled. And some of the really weird things that you would get from CNN or especially from Fox News, um, it's like whoever was programming the speech to text had to be drunk or high or both. Um,
Well, I mean, a lot of them try to just hear what you're saying and translate it.
mm-hmm.
And boy, does that ever not work. I mean, for example, my own channel, I think a lot of my videos were demonetized simply because, with the remnants of my New England accent, right? I mean, I've mentioned that we don't usually pronounce T's in New England. Well,
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
P's. sometimes P's end up the same way. So, like when I said, please rate this video, the subtitles came up as please rape this video.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I was like, that is so not what I said at all. But they probably like demonetized my video because of it.
And I
Because their algorithm thought I was saying something I was not saying.
Yeah, and I do know that with some of the systems that take speech to text, the cadence at which you speak can make a difference. You know, where you have the accenting and the stops on the syllables and that sort of thing. Um,
Whatever the reasons, I just it.
yeah, I mean the human ear makes it out, but the program doesn't. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, that's another thing I wonder about sometimes is how it gets regional accents right or wrong. Because I mean, in my world, the word is program. If someone said it the way you did, it would be PROGRUM, program.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
And so I have to wonder, like, regional accents, does it like what if someone has a Boston accent? You know what I mean?
Oh
Like, how
yeah.
would a speech to text, how would a automatic closed captioning interpret that?
You know, that's interesting. Where I've got to see if any of the Yinzers around here do the speech to text. Because Yinzer, it's not that far from Boston. It's at least as annoying. Um, and yeah, I'd like to see how that works. Um, but okay, that's. And as far as I understand, how it does it on some of the systems at the very least is that you train it to recognize the accent. So here's the thing now. If you're speaking to the text, if you're speaking to the speech to text thing, and you've trained it to recognize program, and then you happen to slip into program, it's not going to know. It's not going to recognize it. Various things like that.
Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping that my keyboard on my phone would work the same way. You can do the swipe type thing and it figures out what you typed.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I haven't learned how to do that yet, but I think I know the one
Well,
you're
there's
talking about.
nothing to learn. You just like put your finger on it and swipe on the letters in the right order, and it often figures it out. But sometimes you get some of the weirdest guesses that are completely freaking wrong.
Yeah, and that's what I'm speaking of when I speak of learn how to do it. Excuse me, learn how to minimize those wrong guesses.
That's the thing is I was kind of hoping that the phone itself would start to realize, no, that thing I thought you were typing is not what you were typing. Like almost every time I try to type in you, it thinks I typed in toy.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like T is to the left of Y, U is to the right of Y, and O is like two to the right of U, right? So if I swipe my hand YOU, I can see what might think I went TOY, right?
Okay then.
Um, but I swear my finger never got like to the T at all, ever, right? And I don't think when I hit the U, I went far enough to hit the Y. But
Some
the
of
only letter it got right was O. And like you'd think after a while, the number of times I do swipe YOU and it comes up with toy, but I can press U on the autocorrect, on the autocomplete, you'd think it would eventually realize, okay, toy is wrong almost every time.
mm-hmm.
But no.
Yeah, some of these systems are extremely dumb. I don't know. I'd like to learn how that is done, how that is affected, especially in the systems that actually work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been out of it so long that
Well, if you'd lay off the drugs, you wouldn't be out of it all the time.
Yeah, I don't even know how to start the framework of a program or whatever in C++. I mean, I can pick up the classes and work with them, but writing a program exactly from scratch, no.
Yeah, okay, there's this video game engine that I want to try working with so I can make my own games. And it lets you program normally, but it also has a drag and drop system. So you can do like, here's a box, if then, if this, then that, but also if this, then that instead kind of things, where you drag
Mm,
and drop the operations so you don't have to be able to type it in and all of that stuff. um, but I was asking people, like, this is primarily for making games. If I want a non-player character to go from here to here, but there's obstacles in the way, is there a built-in like pathfinding system? And I was having a hard time getting a straight answer from anybody, but it sounded like no, you have to program your own pathfinding system if you want to build that into your game.
okay, then that's a lot of work.
Yes. So, I mean, I want to work with that thing, but some of the stuff I want to do, I'm not sure I can because I don't know, like how would you figure out the shortest distance between 2 points when there's obstacles in the way? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because there would probably have to be like okay, here's one path. Is it longer or shorter than this other path? But I wouldn't know how to do it outside of like a total brute force method.
I'm
You
starting to
know what I
wonder
mean?
if that's the way you would do it. Yeah, to do it the way a Mises would. Um, the
Well, I strongly suspect that there is a way to do it that's an industry standard that I just haven't learned.
okay, okay.
And you know what? It wouldn't shock me to discover that there's websites out there that'll teach you how.
Okay, yeah, there might even be. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Um, oh, okay. I was wondering what Amiga Nuts had to say. They get your chair. Okay. Speaking of chair, that's something I've got to do. Um,
Hmm.
got to get another chair because
Oh yeah.
the chair I had I killed. Um, the attachment plate that's at the bottom of the chair seat, and it goes onto the post with the casters on it. You fit the seat of the chair onto the. I wish I had a chair with me that I could show you, but I can't. Um,
Well, also you're using a lot of like construction jargon that I don't know.
moo. But
I mean,
anyway, I have a feeling I was a little bit too heavy for the seat, and I killed it because
okay.
I broke a piece that never should have broken.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I have
so
a question for you, real quick. What the hell is a caster?
it's one of those wheels that you get on the bottom of the chair.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was not picturing that. To be honest, I was picturing it as part of the swivel.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. When you push yourself away from the desk, you're wheeling on the casters. Yeah. Is
Never
that's
in a million years would I have named them that, but okay.
Yeah, that's the name that comes to my mind. And so what I've been using lately, I think in the last 3 or 4 months, is this thing.
Oh, hold on. I'm
And
actually looking at a different screen real quick. Hold on. Let me get the show me again. Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's not the most comfortable arrangement. It's a shitty IKEA chair. Um, and the way I move on it and everything else, I'm actually starting to get it to not fit as tightly together as it should. So I really
Hmm.
need to do something about buying a chair. that's one of the things I've got to do with some of the cash. I mean, I made a payment to the credit card I use for this show, for the Lavender Lady, and the things that are associated with what I'm doing here. I charge to that, and the seat will be one of them. So,
It's funny you mention IKEA, actually. Um, One of my favorite moments in the show Friends, and yeah, I like that show, Cope, um, was where Chandler sits down in a chair that's like really high end, really comfy, and he goes, IKEA, this is comfortable. I don't know why that amuses me, but it does.
okay then, okay, yeah. I mean, this is actually from IKEA. I got a set of four, and my dining table is also from IKEA. Um, and I mean, it's not the greatest furniture in the world, but it suffices for sitting at the dining table and eating. I'm just
Mm.
putting it through a little bit more use than it really should have right now. So,
Well, I
although,
guess my question is there really anything much more important than sitting down and eating, really?
oh, gee, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind
Trick
of
question. The answer is no, there isn't.
okay. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of up there as far as things that one would really want to do. I suppose that one doesn't have to sit down and eat, one could stand and eat. I mean, I know of lunch counters where that is the case. Um,
I don't, but okay. I don't know. I figure if you're at home, you should probably stand.
okay, okay,
You have no idea what I just referenced, do you?
no.
Do you know the REM song Stand?
No, I
Stand
don't.
in the place where you live, now face north. That one.
No,
Think about direction, wonder why you have it now. No? No? Really?
no, I don't know that one. I mean,
Wow.
at least by name, I may have heard it. Just like that other song, the Def Leppard song that you referenced. I knew it
Well,
without knowing what
just
its name was.
okay, but I just sort of did the singity singity. If you didn't get it from that, you probably won't.
Okay then.
Yeah. But no,
Yes,
great
yes,
song. I love
Jackson.
it.
Yeah, I could probably find a more comfortable chair for $10 at a secondhand store, or a second hard store. Um, no, but what I'll do is I'll buy a nice little, as they call it, everything has to be gaming this and gaming that. I know, get a gaming chair with nice comfortable seat and a nice, lean back in it and all the other shit and everything else, and
Well,
probably
I
end
mean,
up.
gaming chairs are really nice and comfy.
But the thing that gets to me is why is it that well, I know why. Why is it that
Hmm.
everything has to be gaming whatever? The gaming motherboard and the gaming disk drive and the gaming headset and
Well, it makes sense. These things are built specifically for that. I mean, if you look at like a graphics card, for example, a lot of them are built specifically to handle the workload that a game puts on a computer, for example. Like when I got a new graphics card after mine failed, I got a really souped up one where it didn't just have the single fan because it would get that warm, you know? Um, and like it's the same thing with the processor. It needs to be able to handle real-time 3D video.
yeah, that must be a whole bunch of fun.
I mean, if I went out and bought a laptop for writing, it'd be completely different and much lower end than a gaming laptop.
I'm accustomed to that by now. It took me a little while to get accustomed to that because for a long time I built my computers for price rather than performance. And the one I built in 2015, I built for price. When I tried to use it for rendering videos and video production, when I first got into making videos a few years later, Yeah, it sucked hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had to build another machine. I had to build it for performance this time. I spent over twice what I did for the original one. But yeah, there was that big difference. Um, but some of the stuff that comes along with the stuff I've got, I think we spoke of this earlier. Why does it have to have the rack of LED lights on it that goes blinkety blinkety blinkety? It's like you have to look, around and into the side of the case and really look hard to see these lights blinking. So what the hell is the deal here? Um,
It looks nifty. I
okay.
mean, let's face it, it's computer bling. That's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
And, I mean, a lot of my computers have it now. In fact, it's built in. Like, if I didn't want it, there's a very good chance I'd be screwed.
yeah. I was about to say, it's at the point where you cannot get a component without that crap anymore.
But I mean,
Um,
it's not crap, though. I kind of like it. It's neat.
okay. Yeah, because I think they both have some of that. I know the new one has, because I can look at the faceplate and where you have the little joints, if you will, where the DVD drive has the little bit of space between it and the cover of the next bay. I can see the red light shining through, and it's like, but I can barely see the red light shining through.
Eh,
Um, I don't
hold
know.
on. I mean, okay. Uh, my new fan on my computer. See that?
Uh huh. Yeah.
All of a sudden, the cats want in. I don't know why. And then here is my VR machine, right?
Righty.
And you can't really tell, but that's changing color. Like right now, it's actually green,
Okay, I see the green now.
and it slowly changes. Right now, it's kind of blue. Should
Okay.
end up like yellow or red soon.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm seeing the blue. Yeah, it took a little longer than it took you to see it. It must be a function of the graphics here.
Now it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
purple.
yep, purple,
So
purple.
yeah, that's just a thing now. Like I bought the computer, didn't even ask for that. It just came like it.
Oh, look, there's a Xander. Hi, Xander.
Yeah. The I'll be honest, my camera, I'm maneuvering it in such a way that you can't see what a mess this place is. Part of it is Xander's fault, part of it is me being lazy, but a lot of it is just that Xander decided to destroy the apartment. Anything that was loose that he could get at, shredded.
Yoy. Okay, then.
Yep.
It is very moved.
I was seriously spoiled by Columbia
I can imagine.
because she is not a destructo kitty.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe Xander will calm down. Hopefully,
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But he is Adventure Kitty. And if he wants something, he will not be denied.
because she's what, 4, 5 months old.
Probably closer to 6, but definitely more than 4.
Okay. Oh, hi, nerdy. Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, even
Oh,
cat litter has to have a gimmick.
sorry, even what now?
Yeah, Jackson Heathen says everything has to have a gimmick nowadays, even cat litter.
Well,
Cat collar with
okay.
LEDs, face masks with LEDs. Yeah, the shoes with LEDs. Carlin hated those.
Well, I wish I could have heard how he felt about the ones with wheels on them, on the heel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm actually pretty okay with the lights in the shoes. Hell, I have some, but they're actually modeled after Marty McFly's shoes from Back to the Future Part Two.
Okay, because I think if I remember the title correctly, I saw the one Carlin ranting about the shoes in something called
Hmm. Trying to find something. I know I own it, but go on.
yeah, something called things that should not exist or something like that.
Actually, it might be the one things that are pissing me off
That might be
because
the
he had one
one.
of those.
Yeah, that might be the one.
Damn it! I was looking for something and now I don't remember what it was.
You've
I
got
wanted to show it on camera,
trousers
whatever
with
it was, and I
blinking
just plain don't
lights.
remember now. Oh well.
Nerdy says he has trousers with blinking
You two,
lights.
it is more than half an hour from dinner time, so shut up, silly kitties.
Oh man, that's what I like about the way I can do things here just with Sylvia. Yeah, I can free feed, and she decides when she wants to go and eat, and she doesn't overdo it. She's
Well, okay.
yeah, she's between.
When you say free feed, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, I pour the food into the bowl, and then I set the bowl on the floor. And when she wants food, she goes there and she sticks her face in it.
Okay, rewind again. When you say food, what exactly do you mean?
The IAMS kibble things.
Okay, so not wet food.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, I'll feed my cats kibble any old time, but the wet food is twice a day, once when I wake up and once at 6 p.m.
Okay. And I
That
say,
is the feeding schedule, but it is now 5:23 and they are bitching.
ha! I sometimes wonder if I, quote, should, end quote, be giving her wet food. I don't know.
Yes.
I should.
Yes.
What is it about the wet food? I'm just curious.
It's better for them. They need it. It's like real meat.
Okay, okay. Okay then. I might actually have to try to do something about that.
I mean, kibble is okay, but you gotta give them. I mean, because cats are predators. They need meat. I mean, I remember hearing about someone who tried to make their cat vegetarian, and boy, did it not work.
Oh, right. I do know that the kitties are obligate carnivores. Yeah, they absolutely need the meat stuffs.
Hmm.
Okay, and then the kibble does not have enough of those meat stuffs then.
So I would recommend getting wet food for your cat.
Okay, and I don't do that by pouring water on the kibble.
They make kibble that does that, or at least they did back in the 80s, but no.
Oh, I remember. I know that you could. Yeah, years and years ago, you could do that for puppies. I think it was called Gravy Train.
Hmm. Well, maybe I'm remembering it for dogs and not for cats, but
Well,
I
there
think
might
they
have
had
been
it
a
for cats
version for
too.
cats as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like Gravy Train did. I think it had another name for it.
Yeah, because the whole bit about that stuff was it made its own gravy when you poured the water over it and all this other shit.
Yeah, but I mean, cats still need more than gravy.
Right. And then I know better than to try to put a I try than to try to put a Mises in with the kitty. When we
Huh?
no
Did you say a mesis or emesis?
well a Mises as in I hate Mises to pieces. Um,
What on earth are you talking about?
Jinx the cat. I hate mice is what he was saying. But
What on? earth are you talking about?
Early in Winston's tenure with the X and I, somehow she got the thought. Okay, we also had Mises, and she said, "Okay, I'm gonna put the cat in with the Mises." And he
Okay,
was,
hold on. I'm going to need you to start at the very beginning. Okay, you mentioned what the cat?
oh,
Fritz, you say?
the cartoon cat's name was Jinx.
The cartoon cat in what, though?
Jinx the cat with Pixie and Dixie.
In what? What was the title?
That was the title.
I've never
It
heard
was
of
a
this.
Hanna Barbera cartoon sometime in the 50s,
I
and I saw
honestly
many
never heard
much
of it
reruns.
in my
Okay,
entire life ever.
yeah,
So,
but yeah, she got the idea to put Winston in with the Mouseses, and there he is in the corner of the aquarium, like, what the hell is that? Get me away from it, please! He was actually frightened of the mouses.
okay.
So, you know, what can I say? Yes,
Well,
meese is the
it,
plural of
it, it
mice.
probably would have been more interesting if I'd had the context first.
And then, yeah, well, nerdy, you know how that goes, right? I mean, if geese is the plural of goose, then meese should be the plural of moose, right?
It should, which would explain Ed Meese, actually,
Yes.
who is, I actually have not heard that name in a very long time. I can't believe I'm the one to say it, but yes. I honestly don't remember anything about him except that he was like, I guess, part of the Reagan administration. They made fun of him a fair amount on Bloom County, but other than that, I couldn't tell you.
um,
Let's see. According to this, Edwin Meese III, born December 2nd, 1931, is an American attorney, law professor, author, and member of the Republican Party who served in official capacities within the Ronald Reagan gubernatorial administration, the Reagan presidential transition team, and the Reagan White House, eventually rising to hold the position of the 75th United States Attorney General, a position from which he resigned following the WedTech scandal.
mm,
So, okay, that's the guy.
I'm trying to remember. I think he was the one who was famous for having said, I couldn't tell you what pornography is, but I know it when I
But I
see
know it
it.
when I see it. Okay, I will be right back. Real quick,
Okay then.
because I don't remember what it was I wanted to show.
Oh, yay.
Because we were talking about masks with like lights in them and stuff, and I don't have that. But a friend of mine did custom make for me, and she offered, I didn't ask, Star Wars masks.
Oh my.
Yep.
Da
So
prożnie.
I'm guessing this one, because I haven't used them, I have like disposables right now, but I'm guessing this one is meant to be tied like that rather than tying these two together and slipping them around the ears,
Move.
right?
Right,
Whereas this one
right.
has the elastic on it. So,
Okay then.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually found recently a box of disposable masks. It was over 3 months since I started looking for them that I actually found them at Walmart. Um, and
I was lucky. Purple sent me some.
yes, I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, we've got this whole little thing going here, the basic equipment masks, and I'm not single using them or anything like that. See, they're getting
Oh,
reused,
see,
but
I am single using the disposables, but I have two N95 masks. Plus, a friend of mine sent me something else. Here we go. This bad boy.
oh, so we're talking a respirator here, basically.
So I'm not actually sure how to put this thing on. I mean, I'm looking at this going, how does this slip over the head somehow? Oh, I guess it does. Okay, I got it. So,
Okay, up there and down there, and yes,
Mm-hmm.
Daproshnia.
Wow, that smells funky. But yeah, so I bet this looks absolutely terrifying. Like you go out into the street wearing this bad boy.
Yeah, well, the other thing I'm thinking of doing, and I really want to do this, is just okay, do I justify the expense? I want to get the plague doctor outfit
Oh,
with
with
the
the bird.
raven mask and the whole bit. Yeah, um,
Mm.
I could just imagine, walking through Pittsburgh with that baby. Um,
See, I don't think you should walk with that on. I think you should stand in one place like you're waiting for the next victim.
yeah, okay.
You know, like find a supermarket or something and just sort of stand there, check your watch occasionally.
Mm. And what I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking correctly, but I hope I am. They really couldn't give you that much of a problem for having that. I mean, it is a face covering, and that's what they want. Um, and then you've got the cloak and the whole bit and everything else, and the Spanish hat. You know. Oh my! Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah,
See, the problem is now everyone expects it.
pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, I know Aaron had said that he wanted the mask and the outfit and everything. He had ordered it and hadn't received it yet. Uh,
Well, it's funny, like, I've been thinking about all the stuff that's been going on since 2020 started. And I'm like, okay, we started with the plague, then came the murder hornets,
mm-hmm.
and like there were some earthquakes, and now we're on riots. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, hey, you remember when we were terrified of murder hornets and no one's talking about it now? You know, like I remember when everyone was scared of this disease, but now we're all gathering to riot, things like that. I'm just like, it seems as though the only thing we care about is the most recent tragedy,
Yes,
the most
yes,
recent danger. And
yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm still pretty damned religious about washing my hands and keeping the mask on when I go out and all that stuff, but it seems like a lot of people have gotten very lax with it because it's not the sexy news story anymore.
yeah. And you've got the people who were once all afraid of the virus, now going out and protesting with no masks or anything like that, and it's like, okay,
It's
whatever
happening.
happened? Yeah. hmm Um, so yeah, they can do whatever they want to do, and I'll sit here and I'll go out of the house only when I need to, and that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'll do. And
I really, really, really want to go out.
I know
I
the
miss
feeling.
outside.
Well, I've gone out a few times into the sun and the warmth, and I'll tell you, it's the mood picks up like that just to get the rays. Do the whole Don Sutherland thing here, and getting the rays, man. It just lifts the spirits, really. It does so quickly. And well, what I want to do is I've got some week left. Okay, it's Tuesday, so I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that whole bit. I would like to grill some hamburgers out on the picnic table in the back with the sun and the warmth and that sort of thing, and sit out there and eat my hamburgers. Um,
Well, I mean, I've mentioned those people in my complex who keep throwing these large barbecue parties without any masks or social distancing whatsoever. And there are some people out there, they have like an 11-month-old that they keep bringing out there to those parties, and I'm like, she's really cute and she's going to die next year.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like they're going to end up killing their kid.
yeah. And
I suspect.
this is the horrible thing. I mean, okay, well, now go out there and do what I'm doing. I'll go there alone. I will wait until anybody who's wanting to do their things has already done their things and they don't want to come out and do any more things. And I can go out there at the table and I can do my things. And yeah, it's I'm not killing anybody. I'm not spreading anything, or at least that I know of, unless I'm leaving, cerveza virus on the surfaces of the picnic table. I don't know. Um, but
Well,
hmm?
no, go on.
I think that's kind of trailing off there.
Well, I keep wondering when it's all going to end. Like I haven't heard anything about a vaccine in months,
Right.
or at least 1 month, and I know that there's probably going to be that second surge simply because people aren't social distancing like they ought.
Oh, it's coming.
And well, so I'm just like, is this our reality now that for the rest of our lives we're going to be wearing masks every time we go out?
I'm afraid of it. I do fear that that is going to be the case. I mean,
In that case, I should invest in a mask company.
yeah, maybe so. Um, it's the whole thing. It's difficult for me to go out, as you call it, all hazmated up and everything else like that. Because okay, here I am. I'm in the apartment. I'm sitting here. I'm all by myself. I'm lonely. I'm um, sealed off from the world and everything else. But with all that hazmating up, I'm carrying that sealed environment with me wherever I go, and I'm never out of it.
Hmm. But I don't want to have to wear a mask all the time anymore. I mean, I want things, at least with regard to the virus, to go back to normal. Where you can just walk outside and you can bump into a friend and maybe give them a casual hug if you felt like it. You could have a chat with a stranger at a bus stop or something, and it wouldn't be like this like gamble, this risk that you might catch something from them or give them something. I would really like to go back to that.
Yes,
And it seems like it'll probably be a year or more,
I
if ever.
I don't expect that anything will improve before the end of the year. I hate to say it, but it's the feeling I get. And I have heard people speak in terms of, in reference to, the folks in East Asia who are walking around with the masks since SARS two, and they're calling it the new normal. It's part of their everyday life now. Um, I really don't want that. Um, I'd almost rather die.
Well,
The
I
only
would
thing I don't,
rather go live in isolation somewhere instead of dying.
I'll try not to whine too much, but living in isolation isn't all that great. My, what do we have? Okay, from TP Seeker. Hi, sweetness. Hopefully, we can give and receive hugs safely next year. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know that we would be able to do that before a vaccine has made the general rounds, and I don't know when that's going to be. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that you can appreciate living in the boonies over that. Um,
Still 20 more minutes till we have to feed the kitties.
food. Feed me.
I like food. They really do. Maybe too much.
I don't know. Well, I guess you've mentioned what that Columbia is a little bit tubby.
Yeah, she's not the tiniest kitty in the world.
I mean, this one isn't tubby or anything like that. At least not yet. I mean, she's between 7 and 8 pounds, which for her length seems to be pretty good. Um, yeah, she's not another Miranda who was about that length and 6 pounds. Never got over 6 pounds throughout her entire life.
Well, you've seen like that picture of Columbia where she looks like a small cat sitting inside of the back half of a large cat.
Yes. Da Prożnie. Yes.
Hmm. I'm just saying, she's not a small kitty. And the vet said it's okay, but still.
Oh my. So wait a minute, TP Seeker. You're saying last year you swear you had a few of those murder hornets on your hummingbird feeders. What were they bigger than the hummingbirds? Because I am just totally amazed at the way things turned out. I had not seen a hummingbird live and in living color until maybe about 5 years ago. You just didn't see them where I grew up.
You know, in a weird way, I kind of hope I encounter some murder hornets near home. Because I'm sure I've told you about this. I have the shotgun that fires salt that's meant for killing houseflies.
Yeah,
I
okay.
kind of want to take on a murder hornet and see what happens.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm hoping that it is not the case that you simply piss it off.
If I piss it off, I can probably outrun it. And if I can't outrun it, well, shotguns can double as baseball bats.
There you go. Oh, Jackson, your hairy black cat is 18 pounds. Okay. Yeah, Ariel got up to 22 pounds. The ex used to sleep on her back, and Ariel would get up on her chest, and it was like, would you kind of move? Because I'm having a hard time breathing. Oh my. Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Grandma in one of those T Rex suits.
Oh, yeah, those T Rex suits. I remember the first time I encountered one of those. I was just like, huh? You know, um, it surprised me. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh my, oh my. Yeah, and then there was the, what the hell were they doing? What the hell was Ken Ham doing? Going on about this thing? Evolutionists comparing birds to dinosaurs or something else. I mean, I just had to. It's like, you know, birds are dinosaurs, you nitwit. But oh well, what are you gonna do?
Creationists. They see. The thing is, I have to wonder, like, what would it be like if a creationist actually tried to debunk actual evolution? Because when you talk to one of those people, they are like their description of evolution is nothing like the reality.
Right, right.
You know, and they clearly don't understand it. And I wonder what the conversation would be like if they could prove to you that they grok evolution and then started arguing against it rather than arguing against that straw man that honestly, I don't even know if they realize it's a straw man. I think they
Um,
might actually genuinely believe that that is how evolution happens, or at least a lot of them do. Maybe
well,
there are
what I
some
was,
that are bullshitting, but I wonder, like how many of them aren't, and if they're even capable of understanding what evolution really is.
well,
Like
my,
the sheer number of times people equate evolution and
oh
abiogenesis,
God,
that they think they're the
yes,
same thing,
yeah,
drives you up the wall, right?
oh,
I don't know.
absolutely, and well, what I'm thinking is that the higher echelon creationists, the Ken Hams, the Kent, well, I don't know about Kent, Eric Hovens anyway. I have a feeling that those people actually understand the subject material and use their understanding of it to um, screw it up and invent a straw man from it and then feed it to the pew sitters. I'm thinking that the pew sitters, for the most part, probably don't understand because they're fed this shit from the pastors, from the snake oil salesmen, that sort of thing. Um, but of course, you can't convince them that they're being fed the wrong crap because it comes along with a liberal sprinkling of eternal damnation if they don't believe it and go along with it. Um, and I have to wonder, we've got the contingent within our community yelling and screaming, religion is not a mental illness. I do have to wonder, though, can disordered thinking be taught? If it can, and if disordered thinking is indeed a sign of mental illness, does that not mean that mental illness can be taught?
See, that's the thing, though. It's not. It's a delusion rather than a mental illness. I mean, if you're raised to believe a certain something, and that certain something isn't true, you don't have a mental illness. You were just misinformed.
Yeah, there's a what's the word I'm looking for? A fine line between the two of them, and I guess you'd have to look at the manner in which these folks do whatever it is they call thinking. If could it be that if they're starting with bad premises, okay, then they're being fed bad information. But if their thinking pattern resembles that of a schizophrenic, have they been taught schizophrenia? I don't know. I'm asking the questions only because it's interesting to me to think about and thinking, okay, how do I go about figuring this out?
Well, see, here's the thing, though, is I mean, it just feels too easy to say it's a mental illness.
It does, yeah, and that's part of the problem.
Because
The problem I
I'm
have.
pretty convinced that it can't be. I mean, too many people believe it. It's kind of like the folks who say, anyone who's adamantly anti-gay, who's homophobic, has to be gay themselves. But given like the percentage of the population that is gay, statistically speaking, that can't be true.
Yeah, it's a possibility
So
there.
I don't think that religion is a mental illness. I think it might have been invented by some mentally ill people. I mean, you hear about a lot of the visions people have, and folks are diagnosing it millennia later, saying, that guy was probably like schizophrenic or had seizures or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, I mean, I just think that it's indoctrination rather than mental illness. Now, can you possibly induce mental illness in otherwise healthy people? Perhaps. Like the folks who were beaten by their uber religious parents probably developed some mental illnesses, but they may not have started with them.
yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm after here. Yeah, I mean, is it possible to train that sort of thing into someone? Okay, I'm gonna say. is it possible that I was trained into some mental illness by those two? I'm not going to discount it.
Well, I can tell you this much. I was definitely indoctrinated to be a liberal.
Okay.
I was raised by hippies. Now, granted, it was not on purpose necessarily. It was just what I saw. It was kind of the way my dad uh went on this religious odyssey when I was little because he was getting over being raised Italian Catholic, right? But he
Mm-hmm.
never forced any of it on me. I saw a lot of it, but I was never encouraged to participate, which may actually explain why I'm an atheist now. Is if you're exposed to a lot of religions but not made to be religious yourself, it's really easy to say, wow, religion's nutty, right?
Okay.
That
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
easy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And so I saw a lot of left wing behavior, a lot of give peace a chance, a lot of, try to eat natural foods and this, that, and the other thing. And some of it worked for me, some of it didn't. But, to say that I am not a product of the environment in which I was raised is wrong.
Yeah. And I do have to wonder how many conservatives, and I'm being as generous as I can with the terms, think that we liberals are mentally ill because we are liberals. Let's fool around with the terms here, and in the
Of course, you've been watching the alt right playbook.
oh
You,
yeah,
you know that it's got nothing to do with mental illness. Some people just think differently, believe differently, have different values. Now, it's actually something that I've been mentioning on Facebook lately is that I actually think the left desperately needs well, number one, restraint with its terminology. Number two, a better PR team. And number three, they need to run every slogan they come up with past a language snob. Okay, because I look at
okay, I
Black
can
Lives
hear it
Matter.
coming. I can hear it coming.
I
Yeah,
look at Black Lives Matter and I say, you opened the door to all lives matter by not making it Black Lives Matter too, right?
yeah.
That Black Lives Matter also. I mean, I get what you were trying to say, but you said it badly and it doesn't work. It's kind of like right now we've got defund the
Uh-huh,
police.
that's where I was
And
gonna go.
it doesn't mean take all the money away from the police. It means fund them less. But that's not what people are hearing, is it?
No,
People are hearing in their heads, give the police no money whatsoever after that, and I think that was a bad move. Just like global warming was a bad move because
oh
then you get that
yes,
schmuck who comes onto the floor of Congress with the snowball. You get the people who don't understand the difference between climate and weather, and now we have climate change, but it seems like too little, too late. Sometimes the damage was already done, and
yes,
so the left doesn't understand how to market themselves to other people. And I really wish, hell, put me in charge of the goddamn committee. I am the absolute ninja master black belt of people recognizing how a phrase can be perverted. You know I am. They
yes.
need to run these slogans by a punster. Because if someone had said to me, hey, we're going to do this Black Lives Matter thing, do you think that's a good slogan? I would have been like, well, you know what someone can do with that? I say make it Black Lives Matter too, because then they can't go anywhere with that other than, no, they don't, and they'll show their bigotry if they do it. But no one asked me. They should have, but they didn't.
But then again, who knows? You might have ended up being Phil.
Yeah, I probably would have ended up being a Phil.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, Phil is that guy at the back of the room during a committee meeting who's going, guys, here's the problem with what you're doing. And everyone goes, shut up, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep on being wrong. It's like Phil is the voice of reason to whom nobody listens.
Yeah, absolute. Um,
So, but this is what I'm saying is that the left needs a better PR team. They really
yeah,
do.
absolutely, absolutely, and gonna be a long time if it ever happens. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bury themselves. They're going to bury us. Um,
Thing is, I don't think we're going to survive that long.
well, that
You know, I
too.
mean, we
Yeah.
don't we don't have time for the next generation to turn into politicians. We don't have time for incrementalism, but everyone's insisting on it. Everyone's insisting we can't do it all now. You have to start at the local level and move up. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't have time for that. The planet's going to die. The planet's going to overheat before that ever happens. So we need to do it right the hell now. But, like you
Yeah.
say, it might take a really long time before the left gets its head out of its ass. So we're doomed.
And this is why I say, and I do say it, that I consider myself rather lucky that I have more life behind me than ahead of me. Um,
Well, I don't like it, but whatevs.
I know. But were I 20 years old and, looking forward to 70 years of slow and painful death, I'm really not liking the idea.
Well, I got to tell you, like, okay, if things had stayed normal, my lifespan, expected lifespan, probably somewhere around 80 years, maybe more. Probably not less, but I mean, I could probably count on about 80 years. And I'm now 44, which means that I'm somewhere around half of my
Mm-hmm.
life is done,
Yeah.
right? Assuming nothing changes, assuming there's no wonder vaccine that messes with your telomeres or something, and well, hey, now I can live to 120, that kind of thing. But I mean, assuming things are the way they are now, I can expect to be around for the Mad Max nuclear winter wasteland that's coming.
Yes, yes, and I do not envy you that. I do not envy you that at all. And this is where I'm saying, for example, that I'm not going to live to be 130, and I'm happy of that. Um, 130, I'm not quite halfway there, but you get the picture. Um, yeah, and plus I didn't take all that good care of myself when I was younger anyway. I don't know that I'm going to make it to 70. Uh, so, there's another one for you, even under the best of
Well,
circumstances.
I don't know. I just well, that's one of the things that I like. I can't even get people on the left to acknowledge that we are on a time limit, that the fuse is lit and getting closer and closer to the dynamite.
Yeah.
If I keep telling people, hey, we don't have time for a Joe Biden administration, we just don't. We need action now.
Mm-hmm.
They change the subject as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah.
I can't get them to acknowledge it. So
And I don't
that's part of
know.
why I think we're doomed is that the left is doing a very good ostrich impression
Yes,
and has been
absolutely.
since Clinton.
Yeah, and I was about to say I
So,
don't know if it was um, they are so set in their ways that they don't want to change it, or they are so afraid, knowing what's coming, that they don't want to acknowledge it.
well, and part of the problem also is just that you can't say the left and be understood. You can't say Democrats and be understood
Oh, right.
because, like if I say left-wing voters versus left-wing politicians, I'm not even necessarily sure everyone can make that distinction, really understands that distinction, but even if they do, it's difficult to get people to acknowledge why one is worse than the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's frustrating because I mean, if I say, it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't fucking matter. Like there's nothing. I'm talking to a wall when I'm talking to other people about this stuff, because it's not even necessarily that they don't agree. They won't even engage,
Right.
you know?
Yes. All they're doing is beating us over the head with what they want. And
No, it's not even that. It's not I wish it was that. It's like they are ignoring anything that doesn't fit their narrative. Not just I want this, I want that, but more that doesn't even exist. That's not a thing.
okay, yeah, yeah. I was trying to head there, and maybe I was using the wrong words, but I get you. I get you. Yeah, definitely. Um, and
Oh, it is time to feed the cat. I'll be right back.
meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Hey, you. Hush. Oh, this is not going to get any faster with you yelling at me.
Da prożnie. Meow. Meow.
Okay, the kitties, they are fed.
Shete Petrožda. I think I was hearing mostly one certain kitty.
I mean, Columbia joined in a little, but it was mostly Xander.
Moof beef. Yeah, I. That's that shrill meow of his. Yeah.
Mhm. And, he is a talker. He loves to walk around just going meow, meow, meow all the time. Where Columbia is pretty silent unless she wants something.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, this one. It's when she wants something, she'll let you know. Other than that, she's content just to keep her mouth shut. And well, I don't know. But then again, when I start singing along to some of the YouTube videos, with the song recordings, yeah, then she'll join along.
Hmm.
I think I'm not sure if it's because she's trying to harmonize or if she's trying to drown me out.
Well, either works.
Yeah, there you go. It's oh my, oh my. But it is the foo-foo-ness.
Hmm. And then they eat the fufu.
Well, actually, fufu is a foodstuff in
Is it?
Central
I
Africa.
don't. Oh, I don't know. Whenever someone says fufu, if they ever do, my first thought is, well, little bunny fufu hopping through the forest. That
Ah,
one.
yes, indeed.
You know, it never occurred to me until just now. I wonder if that's one of those ones where the original meaning is something different than what we think, and it's probably rabidly racist. Like eeny meeny miny mo
Oh my word,
is.
is that yeah, uh-huh.
So I have to wonder if little bunny fufu has some connotation we don't know.
All right, so I'm looking up at the font of all knowledge.
Let's see. Little Bunny Foo Foo is a children's poem about a rabbit harassing a population of field mice and many other creatures. The rabbit is scolded and eventually punished by a fairy, blah blah blah. Variations, yes. I don't see anything at all about a weird origin. Although they are mentioning some twisted versions of it that came later, like the one from Lenore, the cute little dead girl. I loved that comic. Um, but let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything about it having some weird screwed up origin.
Okay then. Yeah, we've got the foo-foo thing going over here. And, okay, from the font of all knowledge, Portuguese traders introduced cassava to Africa from Brazil in the 16th century. In Ghana, fufu, also known as fufuo, is white and sticky if plantain is not mixed with the cassava when pounding. The traditional method of eating fufu is to pinch some of the fufu off in one's right hand fingers and form it into an easily ingested round ball. The ball is then dipped in the soup before being eaten. Yeah, it's a really, really starchy root. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's one of those things that I might try, but I wouldn't run out and make a special trip for it.
Oh dear, oh dear. There's one I just looked up. Okay. I looked up, I've been working on the railroad.
Okay.
And it looks like it had a rather twisted origin because the modern words are pretty cleaned up. But it says that the 1894 version includes one verse very much like the modern song, though in Negro minstrel dialect, with an intro that is no longer sung and a very different second verse. And wow, I'm just reading this right now, and wow, it even just the way it's written sounds racist as fuck.
Oh. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, we're gonna try for the lyrics. Well, these are the modern lyrics, stuff that I know.
Well,
Uh,
if you're not looking on Wikipedia, you're not going to find what I'm talking about.
okay, lyrics. Okay, these are the modern lyrics. The
Yes.
1894 version. Wow.
Just look at the last chorus stanza, whatever the frig, where it's like, sing a song of the city, roll that cotton bale. N word ain't half so happy as when he's out of jail.
Wow.
Norfolk for
Yeah.
its oyster shells, Boston for its beans, Charleston for its rice and corn, but for N words, New Orleans. Wow,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
Da Brojnie.
I remember
Okay.
being a little uncomfortable when I was taking Spanish and we were learning the colors.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that is the source through a roundabout path to the epithet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I learned the epithet first.
Uh huh.
So when I got to the Spanish, it already had some connotations and I felt uncomfortable saying it.
Yeah, and then well, here's the other interesting thing here with the 1894 version. Yeah, Dinah is generic name for a slave woman, and by extension, any woman of
Really?
African. This is what it says below the 1894 lyrics in Font of All Knowledge.
That, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Oh man, I don't ever want to sing this song ever again.
Moo.
It makes me wonder what other bits of my childhood that seemed so tame, so innocent, turn out to be terrifying. I mean, have you really thought about Rockabye Baby?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to remember what the
Rockabye baby on the
story is.
treetop. When the wind
Yes.
blows, the cradle will rock. Yeah, when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby. Cradle and all. We're talking about this kid who, for some reason, is stuck up in a tree and then falls to probably its death or at least its permanent disfigurement from impact trauma. I mean,
And then, well, okay, you've also got Ring Around the Rosie. We were just
mm,
speaking of, Plague Doctor earlier. Yeah, there's a definite connection.
yeah, for those who aren't aware, Ring Around the Rosie, if I recall correctly, what was that, smallpox that it's about?
Bubonic Plague.
Oh, was it? I thought it was smallpox, but okay.
Yeah, because I guess you had the boils, which had the central feature, and then the red ring around it, pocket full of posies. That was the flowers used to, do that aroma thing for to get rid of the bad air. Because you thought, the just the way malaria got its name, for example.
Oh, wow. Okay. The apparently the original version of Rockabye Baby was a hell of a lot less creepy. I mean, it's still creepy, but in this case, if the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Mother will catch you, cradle and all.
Okay,
Now, I don't know why this kid's still up in the tree, but at least mommy's catching you instead of just you falling.
okay then.
Okay.
Oh my! Of course, if Mama's hand-eye coordination wasn't so good, then you still kind of hope the kid would bounce. But to
Yeah,
hell.
but still. Just it Hmm. Man, I just wonder now about three blind mice.
Nah.
Let's see.
I think I remember.
Origin and meaning. A version of this rhyme, together with music, was published in, this looks like it's probably German, Deuteromelia, or the second part of Music's Melody, which is spelled really funky. The editor of this book, possible author of the rhyme, Thomas Ravencroft or Ravenscroft. Um, I don't understand any of this. Okay, it says three blind mice, Dame Lulian or Eulian? Dame Eulian, the miller and his merry old wife. She scraped her tripe, licked thou the knife. The fuck? I don't get any of this, but attempts to read historical significance into the words have led to the speculation that this musical round was written earlier and refers to Queen Mary the First of England, blinding and executing three Protestant bishops. However, the Oxford martyrs, Ridley, Latimer, and Cranmer, were burned at the stake, not blinded. Although, if the rhyme was made by crypto Catholics, the mice's blindness could refer to their Protestantism. However, as can be seen above, the earliest lyrics don't talk about the harming of three blind mice, and the first known date of publication is 1609, well after Queen Mary died. The rhyme only entered children's literature in 1842 when it was published in a collection by James Orchard Hallowell. Weird.
Okay. Da Prognier. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, have you ever noticed that no one refers to, like, nowhere in the actual poem is Humpty Dumpty referred to as an egg or even egg shaped?
Right. Whoever got that idea, I don't know where they got it.
Well, I mean, it's probably because he broke and they couldn't put him back together again. Eggshell, it makes sense, but, you know, I don't know.
But we got on the egg thing here.
Oh, well, okay. The earliest known version was published in Samuel Arnold's Juvenile Amusements in 1797 with the lyrics Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Fourscore men and fourscore more could not make Humpty Dumpty where he was before.
Okay.
So it's more about his location on the wall. He didn't shatter the way he seemed to in the version we know.
So I'm wondering, did Humpty
There's
be-
a bunch of others.
did Humpty become an egg before Charles Dodgson got hold of it, or after?
Well, I haven't gotten that far yet. But I'm looking here at an 1842 version. It says Humpty Dumpty lay in a beck with all his sinews around his neck. 40 doctors and 40 wrights couldn't put Humpty Dumpty to rights. Rights, of course, spelled Wrights first, and then
Mm-hmm.
rights is in, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so meaning. The rhyme does not explicitly state that the subject is an egg, possibly because it may have been originally posed as a riddle. Interesting. There are also various theories of an original Humpty Dumpty. One advanced by Catherine, is that an E or a T? Or sorry, an L or a T? Elwes Thomas in 1930 and adopted by Robert Ripley posits that Humpty Dumpty is King Richard III of England, depicted as a humpback in as humpbacked in Tudor histories, and particularly, I can't speak today, in Shakespeare's play, who was defeated despite his armies at Bosworth Field in 1485. So, okay, it might be that the humpback was vaguely egg-shaped, and that's how that I don't know. Okay, so Professor David Dobbs suggests in the Oxford Magazine of 16 February 1956 that Humpty Dumpty was a tortoise siege engine, an armored frame used unsuccessfully to approach the walls of the parliamentary held city of Gloucester in 1643 during the siege of Gloucester in the English Civil War. This was on the basis of a contemporary account of the attack, but without evidence that the rhyme was connected. The theory was part of an anonymous series of articles, blah, 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 blah. I don't actually see anything. So there's nothing definitive, but yeah.
Okay, then.
What? Okay, there's an in science section. Humpty Dumpty has been used to demonstrate the second law of thermodynamics.
Oh my. I like the idea, though. I do.
So the law describes a process known as entropy, a measure of the number of specific ways in which a system may be arranged, often taken to be a measure of disorder. The higher the entropy, the higher the disorder. After his fall and subsequent shattering, the inability to put him together again is representative of this principle, as it would be highly unlikely, though not impossible, to return him to his earlier state of lower entropy, as the entropy of an isolated system never decreases.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's fucked up. This whole thing about Humpty Dumpty is fucked up. I'm not even going to look up any more of these children's rhymes because, I don't want to see behind the curtain of my childhood too much.
Well, okay, if you don't want that, definitely do not go looking at the Brothers Grimm because they certainly were.
Well, yes, that much I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I really do want to see a sci-fi reworking of, I think it's one of theirs. I might actually be thinking of Hans Christian Andersen. I can't remember. But I am so looking forward to Han Solo and Gretel. I'm not saying. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Let's see. Hansel und Gretel.
I only say it might be Hans Christian Andersen because they sound vaguely Germanic names, and he was from what? No, not Norway. Why am I saying Norway? Netherlands, Holland, wasn't he?
Denmark.
Oh, so it was Scandinavian, but even then, that's still those are Germanic languages, kinda. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's a German fairy tale collected by the Brothers Grimm and published
okay,
in
so it was
1812.
Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I knew that it was something like that. It was either them or Hans Christian Andersen, and Hans Christian Andersen tells some
Well,
pretty fucked up stories.
and
Like I remember hearing The Little Mermaid was one of his, wasn't
yes,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And like,
oh,
didn't she
wow,
like
wow, wow.
every step she took was like walking on broken glass, wasn't it?
Yes.
So
Yeah, very, very much the foo-foo. Yeah, the bad foo-foo. Not very tasty at
yeah.
all.
But anyway, I don't know. I'm just reviewing some of the comments on my most recent videos. I'm
Ah,
always curious
moo.
what people say. And the thing is that YouTube has stopped giving me like email notifications as often as I'd like. I actually talked to some of them and they said, yeah, we set up our system to give you like a digest so we don't send you everything, just highlights. I'm like, but that doesn't work for me because there are so many times when I have a debate with somebody and it may not even be on my channel and I don't know they've responded. And I go back to the video like a week later and I see them declaring victory because I didn't respond. And I'm like, but I didn't know you had responded. I thought I won, you know?
Okay.
And it's like, yeah. So I'm checking my comments right now because people have left some that are like 2 hours worth of comments that I didn't know there were.
Well, it's better that you won than you two, but that's beside the point, isn't it?
But whatever. It's just YouTube fixing shit that ain't broken. You know?
Indeed. Yeah. Actually, what they do is they go ahead and they break it. Yeah. And I'm trying to
And
remember.
Patreon is doing the same
Yes,
thing
I was
now.
just about to bring them up. Oh God. Um.
I mean, for them, it's not as bad. What Patreon has done is they decided, okay, here is the page of how much you're getting for the video you just posted. And they're folding that into some other system. So now I've got to find that page next time. And it's just a pain in the ass. Why do it?
Yeah. It is the icky doo doo. I mean, it's taking more time to read their reports than it is to do the videos that garner the reports. Everything else.
Well, anyway, I'm starting to get quite hungry. It is past dinner time after all.
Da Brozhnia. Okay, so yes,
So,
if it's nearly 21:30 hours here, it's pretty close to 18:30 hours where you is, and
yes.
yeah, that's dinner time for the mill hunkies.
Now, quick question.
Yes, dear.
Because I don't eat a lot of eggs. It's just sometimes my body doesn't react to them as I'd like, and sometimes it does. It seems completely random. But I bought some, and I'm thinking about making an omelet.
Okay.
And you know what I've never done?
Hmm.
I've never had a chicken omelet.
You know, I don't think I've ever made one.
Okay, so asking for advice about one is not going to happen. I
Well,
mean,
okay.
given some of the crazy crap you eat, I thought if anyone had ever made a chicken omelet, you'd be the one. But I
My
guess I shall have to be a pioneer in this field.
my guesses here are, cook the chicken first.
Oh,
Just
yes, of
just the way I
course.
cook the sausage for a Western omelet, that sort of thing. And then yeah, just fold that into the omelet stuffs. Yeah, I don't know how
Mm.
much work you go through to make an omelet.
I just realized something. I don't have any cheese.
Oh no! You gotta
Yeah.
have the cheeses. Gotta have the cheeses.
Poo. All right. Well, I'll figure it out anyway. Um,
Omelet tomorrow.
but yeah, and I mean, keeping in mind, of course, that the chicken I have is the pre-cooked frozen chicken tits and not fresh.
Oh,
So,
okay. So
I
half your work
could
is
just
done for
defrost
you.
it, but I'd prefer to fry it till it's a little bit on the crispy side.
Yeah, well, half your work is done for you in that sense. Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, but it is frozen, so I have to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. Now, what you want to do, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want to do it, but what you want to do is separate the eggs and then toss a little cream of tartar in with the egg white. Whip that up into a meringue. So, yeah, it's got the nice peaks to it and everything. Then you fold the egg yolks in, and then you make the omelet. I tell you,
No,
oh, you don't want an
no.
omelet that ends up 4 inches tall?
No, what I want to do is just basically, oh, look, I made scrambled eggs, except I didn't scramble them.
There, well, actually, you kind of did, but that's beside the point. Yeah.
Well, but you know what I mean. It's like it's a scrambled egg patty instead of a scrambled egg uh, casserole.
Moof beef, yeah, and then you have you do it, and then you put the stuff in there, and the tomatoes and the mushrooms and the
Ew, no
um,
mushrooms.
and and
Mushrooms bad.
and the sausage and the
Yeah, I don't
onions.
have those ingredients anyway. I'm just gonna use like chicken, maybe some carrots and peas and broccoli.
That'll work. Yes,
Yeah.
that will
Although, damn it, I
absolutely
can't
work.
believe I don't have the cheese.
That's so sad. Yeah, it is, because you really got to
You know
have
what
the
I've never
cheese.
done?
Hmm.
I've never melted Monterey Jack. I wonder if that would go good in an omelet.
I don't know. Because yeah, I don't work with Monterey Jack too much.
Oh, I love it, especially like with some crackers and just slice it up and
Um,
yeah.
my favorite are cheddar and Swiss.
Well, Swiss is really good. I love the Emmentaler Swiss.
Okay, okay,
Oh my gosh, that is so good because it's like Swiss cheese with flavor.
yes,
It's got this like sort of almost smoky quality to it, and I really love it.
yes, indeed he does. And well, you talk about the smoky. I love smoked cheddar.
Mm, I find cheddar really boring. I'd rather, okay, if we're going to talk about favorite cheeses, I mean, yeah, Swiss and mozzarella.
Okay, okay. Now,
Maybe it's just because I was raised Italian, but
could be.
mozzarella.
Every now and then I will, but I don't make a steady diet of mozzarella by itself.
Well, of course not by itself, unless you're eating the string cheese. You don't want mozzarella by itself.
Yeah, I'll occasionally have the string cheese, but not all that often. But yeah, the mozzarella on whatever it is you put mozzarella on. Oh God, that definitely works.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna make with the Edie Edie, so I'll talk to you later.
Well, you be good. Um,
I just won't
great,
get caught.
great having you around. Love every minute of it, and bon appetit. Right. And it says Kate Farr has left the meeting, which I guess kind of means that she's not here anymore. And I'm here all by my lonesome self. And looking over there, and oh my word, we still have 7 people. Yeah, I didn't say hi to Beth yet. Hi, how are you? And let's see, who else do we have? We have Spooky. Wow. Hi, sweetie. Yay. And the harmonica man, of course. Reminds me, oh, who the hell was it that did the song Poetry Man? Oh, well, yeah, it's a long time ago. Long, long time ago. I can still remember in my younger days. But then again, oh my, oh my, oh my, and then JC, great for having you show up, really and truly, and things and stuff, and yeah, all kinds of things. And I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do in the upcoming days, because there's some stuff I need to do yet. And let's see. Probably I'll be up all night doing laundry because yeah, you go down to the machines and there's always somebody's laundry sitting in the machines. I guess that's how they reserve the machines for themselves. Um, but yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. And then I noticed that some of the maintenance type people had put some signs in the entry doors in front and back here. It says, for your own safety, close and latch the doors. And what was so funny was the sign was taped to the door and the door was left open. Yeah. Yeah, people around here, they're really swift. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. But what can I tell you? I did get the laundry quarters, so that's all okay. And maybe before the month is over, I'll grab some aquarium sand. $20 for a bag, so it's not that expensive. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, because we're getting close to putting that thing in service behind me. And all kinds of other stuff that's going on. And from there, who knows? Who can tell? So I'm going to say it. I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who's not here, as usual. You're a great bunch of people. You really are, and I love having you here. And we'll keep doing it as long as you keep coming. I like that idea. Well, Amiga, I don't know if it's whiskey and wine time yet. I do know that the liquor stores here in PA are open now, but it's going to be a little while before I replenish some of the booze. I mean, it's not a big thing anyway, because like I keep telling everybody, I have a drinking problem. There's booze all over the house, and I forget to drink it. Yeah, it's a problem, right there. And such is the life, how it is. Smoke and cinnamon whiskey. Trying to remember if my ex had any of the cinnamon whiskey. I know that she had ginger whiskey. It's a long, long time ago. Oh well, that's the fufu and the stuff and the things, and yeah, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, and I've got some stuff to work on, and I've got to get started on it. I've been getting into some arguments on Twitter, and they're giving me ideas for some scripted films, so we're gonna have to see what we can do about that. And how it is from there. So, thank you again, kids. Thank you for coming by. Like I say, I love every minute of this. And we'll see how it goes. And until the next time around, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.